Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to Abdullah Patel English High School and DRT Junior College. Let's start by our subject history. Today we are going to start by our last topic of our second chapter, that is 2.3.4 Africa. In my earlier video I have completed by the European colonialism in the nearby areas, the neighboring countries, and from that the last part was remaining, that was Africa. So starting by Africa, European travelers reached Africa also. However, the African territory with its dense forests, widespread lakes, swamps and deserts was unfamiliar to them. As earlier, the African people were having their own life. They were having their life in forests, the widespread lakes, the swamps, the deserts. They were known to that. But the people who have traveled over there, the Europeans, were not known to those lands. They were unfamiliar to them, as they were just a traveler over there. So the King Leopold II, I'm having the picture of him. In my next slide, I'm going to show you the picture of Leopold II. The King of Belgium had Congo. Congo is a place. It is the name of a place under his dominions. Leopold II, the King of Belgium. Which place? Belgium. The King of Belgium, named Leopold II, had Congo. Congo is the name of a place under his dominions. He convened a geographical conference. Convent means called or done or attend. A geographical conference. Geographical related to area. Conference. Remember, this was the first conference which happened in Brussels in the year 1876. Brussels is the capital city of Belgium. Okay, so King Leopold II of Belgium had Congo under his dominance, under his rule, and he had done a first conference over there, geographical conference, where at his capital, Belgium's capital, and what was called as Belgium's capital? Brussels. In which year he has done? 1876. European geographers and researchers had gathered in this assembly, and what the first conference was he had held at the time, all the geographers, all the seafarers, all the researchers who were doing the researches had gathered in that assembly or the conference. It was decided there to establish an institution called International Association for the Exploration and Civilization of Central Africa. I repeat over here, what was decided over there, that they will be establishing an institution, and the institution will be called as International Association for the Exploration and Civilization of Central Africa. See, it was termed as Africa. So what importance Africa was having for the purpose of dissemination of knowledge. Dissemination means division or the distribution of knowledge in Africa. That was the purpose, that was the main aim behind of starting an institution of Europeans, that they want to disseminate the knowledge, they want to divide or distribute the knowledge in Africa. In the year 1884, a conference of European nations was organized in Berlin. Berlin, the city from Germany, to explore the opportunity in Africa available to them. The true purpose of this conference was to discuss the possibility of dividing the African territory amongst themselves. See, this is the picture of the King Leopold II, and he has done each and everything, the dissemination of knowledge in Africa, and the opportunity what they have given. In the year 1884, the conference of European nations was organized. Where? At Berlin. The true purpose of this conference was to discuss the possibility of dividing the African territory, how they are going to divide the territory of Africa among themselves. Each and every country, every state of Europe want Africa in their hand. So which part they have to capture, that was decided over here in the Berlin Conference. Just imagine the mentality of the European. What was the mentality of the European, that they are deciding that which part, which territory they have to be taken in their own hand. And in the Berlin Conference, the Belgian supremacy in Congo, Belgian, the King Leopold II was having under him the place called as Congo, right? So in the Berlin Conference, the Belgian supremacy in Congo was acknowledged by all, and Congo was renamed as Congo Free State. Now finally, Congo, which was under the rule of King Leopold II, is now in Berlin Conference is renamed as Congo Free State. It was also decided in this same conference, which conference? Berlin Conference, that if any of the European nation fails in utilizing the natural resources in the colonies under their charge, then the nation should give it up to another European nation. What they decided, that if any nation fails to have utilizing the natural resources which they are getting, so what they will do, they will hand over their whatever the part they are having, whatever the part they were having in charge of, that part should be given to another nation of European nation. Am I clear with till here? Moving further, George Tubman Goldie. Now here this person also image I am having, I will show you later in my next slide. George Tubman Goldie was a British citizen who founded the National African Company in England, like East India Company. We were having East India Company in India. Do you remember East India Company? In our school section we have studied about East India Company. So likewise in Africa also they have started the National African Company in England. A charter was issued. Charter here means an agreement. An agreement was issued to him. To whom? To George, by the British government, permitting to conduct trading operation in Nigeria. For the trading purpose, they have given him the permission. They have made an agreement with him, with George. Later the company was acquired by the British government. Same like India. In India also East India Company was created, and later on who has taken the charge? Britishers. Over here the same, the National African Company was later, that company was acquired by British government. Nigeria became a colony governed by the British government, and finally Nigeria had become colony which was governed by British government. So this was of about England. Now see, this is the person George Tubman Goldie, who was a British citizen and founded the National African Company in England. Moving further to our next, see Bismarck. Again I am going to show you the picture of this person, Bismarck, the Chancellor. Chancellor means the Prime Minister of Germany. Now see, this is the second nation of European country, Germany. Established the first German colony in West Africa in the year 1883. It was named Togoland. Germany also established its colonies in Cameroon and Southwest Africa. So under the Chancellor of Germany, who? Bismarck. The German has started their first colony in West Africa in the year 1883, and they named that land as Togoland, where they have established their colonies. And they have also their colonies in the other parts of Africa, that was Cameroon and southwest of Africa. Now this is the person, Bismarck. Now we have completed by Germany. We have seen England, we have seen Germany. Now the third one, that is France. France established their supremacy in Senegal, Gambia, and in the region to the north of Congo. In 1883, Ivory Coast also became a French colony. Later, France acquired the region of Dahomey from Portugal till 1904. See, here it is 1994. It is actually 1904. France had established their control over the region from Sahara Desert to Ivory Coast to the west and French Guiana. Now see how the France has also established. They have established their supremacy over Senegal, Gambia, and in the region of the north of Congo. And in the year 1883, Ivory Coast will also become a French colony. Later, France acquired the region of Dahomey from Portugal. Means from each and everywhere, they want their hold to be done. Until the year 1904, France established his control over the region of Sahara Desert to the Ivory Coast to the west and French Guiana. Moving further, Cape Colony and Natal in East Africa were held by England, while Mozambique was under Spanish control. England, France, and Germany were interested in the region of East Africa. Till now, we have studied about England, France, and Germany separately. Now, see, these three countries is now having their interest in the region of East Africa also. These three nations made a pact to protect each other's interests. Now they have also made a pact, a friendly relationship has been created between these three, and that pact was that they will protect their interests, each other interests. Accordingly, the Sultan of Zanzibar was given Pemba Island and the coastal region of East Africa. The Sultan of Zanzibar. Zanzibar, it is the name of a place. Okay, I am going to show you the picture of Sultan of Zanzibar. So he was given he has given the Pemba Island and the coastal region of East Africa, while Madagascar was given to France, the coastal region of North Africa to England, and the south region to Germany. Likewise, they have divided the land over there in Africa, and in 1897 Germany took over the East African region from German East Africa Company. England declared Zanzibar, Pemba Island and Nyasaland, now it is called as Malawi, as their protectorates, and it came to be known as British East Africa. Like East India Company, now here also they are getting their hold in Africa, and they have decided that they are going to rule over there, and whatever the interest they are having, they are going to secure. Who? England, France and Germany. And they have also divided the land between them, that which part is going to be ruled by which nation. And they have also given the land to Sultan of Zanzibar. Okay, now who is Sultan of Zanzibar? Let's see. He is the person, the Sultan of Zanzibar. Moving further, Morocco, Algeria, Tunis, Tripoli, nowadays we are also called as Nubia, and Egypt were part of the north region of Africa. In 1830, France had already established control over Algeria. Italy, France and England wanted to occupy Tunis. In this competition, France was successful and got hold of Tunis from its Turkish Sultan. Thereafter, France took hold of Morocco as well. Italy conquered Tripoli and Cyrenaica. Now see, so cunning nature is there of France. Each and everywhere he wants its hold to be done. Morocco, Algeria, Tunis, Tripoli, and Egypt, as these were the parts of the northern region of Africa. Now, finally, as they have decided that this part has to be ruled by this nation, but then too they want their hold, establish their control over everywhere. And finally, France in the year 1830 have control over Algeria, and Italy, France and England wanted to occupy Tunis. These three countries also want to occupy Tunis. In this competition, there was a competition that who will occupy now. So France was successful in this and got finally Tunis from its Turkish Sultan. Thereafter, France took also hold on Morocco as well and the other parts, and Turkey conquered Tripoli and Cyrenaica. Both England and France wanted to gain hold over Egypt. Now finally Egypt is remaining. So now again there is a fight. They want, England and France both want to gain hold over to the Egypt. The British built railway from Alexandria to Cairo. Suez Canal that joined Mediterranean and Red Sea was built under the supervision of the French diplomat Ferdinand de Lesseps. In the beginning, Egypt bore the expenditure to this project. Now see what happened. Now there is a fight between for which country? Egypt, for the part of Africa, Egypt. So here the British has built a railway from Alexandria to Cairo, and there was a Suez Canal that joined the sea. Which sea? Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea. And that sea, the bridge was, the Suez Canal was building, that was under the supervision of whom? Of the French diplomat Ferdinand de Lesseps. So in the beginning, Egypt bore the expenditure for this project. In the starting, Egypt peoples were paying the expenditure whatever it was needed for this project. So Egypt were having the expenditure part. See, this is the map of Egypt. I hope you can see. Moving further, however, later the expenditure for Suez Canal got so elasticated. Elasticated here means delayed, that Egypt had to seek loans to meet it. So one day it happened like that, as Egypt was having the responsibility of paying the amount for the canal. So one day it happened that it was delayed to pay the amount, the loan amount what Egypt had taken. Okay, so the Egypt had to seek loans to meet it. To pay that amount, Egypt required loans. It became impossible to repay even the interest on the loan, and whatever the loan it is side, but the interest, what was the interest, that was also next to impossible to pay by Egyptians. So Egypt, what they have done, they have put the shares of Suez Canal Company for sale. Whatever the shares were there in the market, they kept up for sale. England purchased a number of shares and thus gained part ownership of the company and the Suez Canal. So finally, who purchased those shares? England, and thus England became the owner of that company and as well as of the Suez Canal. And Egypt became independent in 1922. And finally, from England, Egypt became independent in which year? In the year 1922. Moving further, Sudan to the south of Egypt was it was is vassal state. Now what is vassal state means Sudan to the south of Egypt was its vassal state, means Sudan is the vassal state of Egypt. So what is vassal state means where one king is ruling for the another king in place of another king. Okay, so that is called as vassal king. So Sudan to the south of Egypt was its vassal state. I hope you people are understanding it. England, by the virtue of Egypt being deemed as British protectorate, had also assumed the same role in Sudan, and the same thing that England was doing in the Sudan also. So Sudan was important for England because the Nile, the lifeline of Egypt. Nile, I hope you have listened. The Nile River. Yes. So it was a lifeline of Egypt. Lifeline means Mumbai Lifeline. What is Mumbai Lifeline? Our train, right? One place to another. We are traveling from one place to another. So the Mumbai Lifeline is our train. So likewise, the lifeline of Egypt was the river Nile. For what reason? Yes, for trading purpose. And from trading, they were earning profits. So which was originated in Sudan, Nile River, which was originating from Sudan. England, without paying heed without paying any attention to local opposition, established its supremacy over Sudan. Means they don't want to give any damn to each and anything. They just want to have hold over Sudan. To facilitate the moving of British army in Sudan, the British began to build a railway track from Uganda to Sudan. France accepted England's claim on Sudan and in exchange asked for some facilities in the western parts of Africa. And finally, as they just want to have hold on Sudan for their profit motive, for their trading system, they agreed for each and everything, whatever they kept the claim was. So they agreed each and everything that we just want. So they want to build a railway track from Uganda to Sudan. As I already said you, Mumbai, the lifeline is railway tracks, our trains. Likewise, they have also done the same thing. They want to make a railway track from Uganda to Sudan. Okay, now see the map. This is the map of Sudan and Uganda. I hope it is words are can be seen by you. It is not clear, but it can be seen. Okay, or you can go to internet and see the railway routes also for this. Moving further, Cape Colony and Natal in the southern parts of Africa were under British rule. Orange Free State and Transvaal were under Dutch control. Gold mines were discovered in Johannesburg and it attracted European nations to South Africa. This resulted in England's decision to consolidate its colony in the southern region and name it Union of South Africa. Now see here what happened. The many regions were there under the control of British, and Orange Free State and Transvaal were also under the control of Dutch control, and the gold mines were discovered in Johannesburg and which attracted European nations to South Africa as gold mines give them profit, the wealth. This resulted in the England decision to consolidate its colonies in the southern region and named it Union of South Africa. Now see, Africa was called as Disco Gold. Disco, Disco, Disco Gold. Now what is Disco Gold? See, D means diamond, as we have already studied in our chapter number 1, that earlier when they have discovered Africa, they have also done the discovery of diamonds, they have done the discovery of iron, they have discovered coal, they have discovered gold. So this is Africa is also called as disco gold. It is a land of disco gold. So why it is called as disco gold? D for diamond, I stand for iron, S stands for silver, CO stands for coal. Disco. Again I am repeating, disco. Disco. D for diamond, I for iron, S for silver, CO stands for coal, and gold. G for gold. So disco gold. I hope you people are understanding it. At about the same time, Portuguese gained control over Angola, some island in the Guinea coast, some part of Morocco came under Spain's control. Thus, this was the end over here. As Portuguese came over here to rule, Portuguese get control over Angola, some island in the Guinea coast, some part of Morocco under the Spain control. Thus, in this lesson, what we have understood, what we have learned about the history of European colonialism, how they have colonized other lands. In the next lesson, inshallah, we are going to learn about the influence of European colonialism in India. In this chapter, we have seen European colonialism of neighboring country. In the next lesson, that is the chapter number 3, we will see India and European colonialism, how European has colonized India. Okay, that we are going to see, and that European colonialism is divided into 4 subtopics, that are Portuguese, British, Dutch and French. I hope you have listened this name and you have studied in your subject history at your school levels. So the chapter will be more interesting as you people are having idea, as you people have known little bit of knowledge you people are having. So it might be very knowledgeable and might be very interesting to listen again the same thing, and it will be very easy for you people to understand the chapter. So inshallah, in our next session I'm going to give you the exercise answer, and after that session I'm going to start by chapter number 3, that is India and European colonialism. I hope you people are completing your notebook, whatever the answer I have given for chapter number 1. Make a notebook and complete it down. After reopening of our college, I'm going to start your check your history notebook. Okay, in our next session inshallah I'm going to complete by our chapter number 2 exercise. Till then, thank you for listening. Stay at home, stay safe.